Ventura, welcome to Get Moving TV. I'm Dr. Chris Landon and I serve as your host. Several months ago, we had someone here from talking about marketing and how they got into the career, and there's been some changes. I became aware of some things he's gotten into, and it just was too fascinating to pass up. I think we have enough guitar players in town and in this county that they're just going to love what they're going to see. So, Mike Mostert, we're back.
Thanks for having me back.
So there's been some changes since you and I were here together?
Yeah, some exciting changes, Chris. Since we last spoke, we're now distributing a line out of Korea called Ogre Pedals. When I met them in Germany initially, I was just so impressed by the look. But when I played it through the amps, it just blew me away. So after long negotiations, I was proud to say my company, MMG Distribution, are now the exclusive distributors for Ogre Pedals in the USA, Canada, and South America. These are just extremely, very unique pedals. I should probably hold one up. Now this one is a distortion. The cool thing with these, they're also aluminum die cast, handcrafted in Korea. Now these are based on the Marshall JCM 800 sound, but it's modded. So meaning it's a little bit more enhancement. It has a 2-band EQ, but it also has an extremely high gain distortion. So if you want the classic British sound, or if you want the ultra heavy metal detune 8-string guy, this is your guy. You'll get the full spectrum of every kind of distortion on the planet. And one side benefit, when you turn these things on, the eyes light up.
I think everybody's eyes are going to light up there. Now that you live here in Ventura County, I mean, you're definitely
That's right.
Definitely a
Just
native.
recently moved to Ventura County, yes.
So what other kind of pedals do you have there?
Well, they also have a delay. And one of the cool things with the delay, and you'll also see in the overdrive, it has a cockpit compartment. So it gives you a set it and forget it type of feel. So you set your settings on a delay or the overdrive, you turn it, and you don't have to worry about anybody changing your settings or stepping on it when you're playing a live gig.
I'd be afraid someone's going to bite me if that thing got stepped on there.
Yeah, one of the cool things with this too, you know, they spend a lot of time developing the exterior of these. It takes about a year for them to design each pedal. But they take just as long to develop the insides of the pedals as well. All the components, the choice of components, where the components are laid inside the pedal. Now this one's based on the PT2339 chip, which is like the industry chip for an analog delay. So it's not a digital delay, it's an analog delay. It makes a pretty big difference. It gives you a warm type of reverb or delay. So again, it's just not just a pretty on the outside, it sounds fantastic.
So it was pretty international here. You're traveling to Germany to Music Messe. There's a whole messe of
things, yes.
With people from around the world looking for products, and here in Ventura County, we got the Ogre here.
Yeah, so the Music Messe is a very exciting show to go to. There's a lot of products that you do not see in the United States at the the NAMM show, which is one of the largest shows in the United States. But in Music Messe Germany and also in Music China, there's just so many products I would love to bring here that people in America just don't get to see. So I feel very fortunate that I was able to work out a deal with this company. I think it's going to be a very exciting brand, exciting pedal. I think just the reaction from you, the crew, it's been the same no matter where I go. You know, people have to check them out.
So what's your marketplace then? So I know with Mostert Market, you've sold the go-go tuners in Romania and South Africa, and the world is such a small place. There's so many shredders in Germany that, and Japan. You watch those guys on YouTube, you just go, really, you're 3 years old and you're playing better than this is just.
Right.
So it's such an international kind of thing. So what's the territory that you have for Ogre pedal?
We're doing USA, Canada, and South America.
So they're going to have to come here.
That's right.
Which is a good thing.
And there's a lot of shredding going on in those territories as well.
Now I see there's a third and fourth. Those are different colors, or?
Yeah, the pedal comes in 4 different colors. So it comes in a vintage gold. It also comes in a fine metal gray, green, and what they call a metal red.
So we got our full range of colors there and glowing eyes. And so are there any, what stores will we be able to find these in?
We'll do official announcement over the next, well, next time I see you, I'm sure we'll do an official announcement. We just officially released the pedals for the first time in the United States about 3 days ago. So we're still compiling our dealer list, and we're being extremely selective of which dealers are going to carry this. We want the right partners for this type of brand.
So Get Moving is, we're right on the cusp. This is, it's happening right here and right now.
That's right.
All right, well, Ventura, we're gonna take a little break, and you're gonna get a chance to hear these pedals in action. So get ready to get moving.
Mike Mostert here from Mostert Marketing Group, and we're on Chris Landon's show, Get Moving TV. We like to demo the Ogre pedals. The very first one we like to demo is the Ogre Tubaholic Overdrive. It's based on the classic TS-808 circuitry, and it's basically a boost with an overdrive, but with a little extra modification, so you get a little bit more distortion, a little bit smoother sustain. Without further ado, I'd like to get my guy Johnny Blade to do a little bit of demo. Go ahead, Johnny. The next pedal we're going to do is the Ogre Thunderclap Distortion. Now this pedal is based on the original Marshall JCM 800s, but again, just like the Tubaholic, it has modifications, so you get an extreme high gain distortion that the new metal guys are using. With that, we'll have Johnny do another demo. Great stuff there, John. Next pedal we're going to demo is the Ogre Chronomaster delay. Now this delay is based on the PT2339 analog chip. Now this is the industry standard for tube delays, which gives you extremely like a warm type of delay sound. So John, here you go. As you can see, these Ogre pedals are extremely versatile. They're extremely unique, and they're extremely pretty to look at, but inside, there's a lot of magic that goes on inside. That was the demo of all the Ogre pedals. We want to thank Ventura, Dr. Landon, and the crew for being very gracious hosts. And we look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Well, as an internationally famous TV host, of course, I get approached all the time. Get Moving TV is well known throughout the world. And as a result, when people are looking for an opinion about something that has to do with children, they come to someone who's a pediatrician, a director of pediatrics, someone involved with the American Academy of Pediatrics, Chapter 2, our local chapter. Our local chapter was recently approached by South Korean TV, and they were looking for someone with an interest in technology and an opinion about what the effect of all this deluge of smartphones and iPads and iPhones and Samsung Galaxy phablets was having on our children. In South Korea, it's a problem. And as you're going to hear, there was a family with a 3-month-old who had the 3-month-old taken away because they couldn't get away from the video games. Apple had looked at a stroller that had a little iPhone built in for a 3-month-old or a 6-month-old, so that they're at it right from birth. I was recently a pediatrician for the Immigrant Health Clinic over in the Port Hueneme Navy Base. Those kids were intelligent, polite. They had survived a 1,000-mile trip on La Bestia, the beast train that they could watch people run over. They had things in their eyes. They made it across into the United States, and without an iPhone or an iPad. They actually had conversations. They drew artwork. They talked to each other. They didn't text each other. So some of that feeling that I hope you're getting across now is what I tried to bring to the viewers of South Korean public broadcasting system television.
Why the AAP decided to come out with the guidelines, and can you give us the points of the guidelines as well?
Well, one of the responsibilities of the AAP is to help pediatricians, and what they wanted with the guidelines is for us to become educated about this new media use. We've seen relations to obesity with excessive screen time, sex, violence, addiction to the media. What's come out is recommendations called Take Two, in which we ask the questions: is there a television set in the child's bedroom or internet access? How much recreational screen time is your child or adolescent spending? These are questions in addition to all the other ones about safety and nutrition and school performance and so forth. So 2 additional questions have been added to the exam. For children under the age of 2, the recommendation is really to take media out of the child's life, that there's no place for DVDs and television and so forth, especially treating them as learning tools.
Tell us about the Ask 2 and how the physicians or the pediatricians decide, if it's healthy or not. There's 2 questions.
So in the development of these guidelines, the Ask 2 questions, which are the 2 questions are: how much media time screen time is your child or adolescent spending? A simple question to ask. And is there a television set or internet access available in the bedroom? Particular attention needs to be paid for those children who are having problems with attention, who are having problems with obesity, are having problems with violence or aggressive behavior. And the link between watching and interacting with aggressive video games, watching nothing but aggressive and violent movies, spending tremendous amounts of screen time where the food commercials are telling you must be hungry for McDonald's today, it's time for Pepsi, time for Gatorade, when drinking water should be sufficient. So the overall recommendation is 2 hours or less of screen time, and what we're seeing with our 8 to 10-year-old children is they're spending 8 hours a day in front of a screen. For our adolescents, it's as much as 11 hours a day. So we need to ask that question, and we need to help parents through these guidelines and education programs to think about it and deal with it as a family. So the second part is really the Ask 2 questions. As a pediatrician, we really try and advise patients and parents to watch out, put helmets on for bicycle use. And so what we found now is there's this emerging media question that we have to ask, and that is, how much recreational time is your child spending in front of a screen? And is there a TV screen or internet access in the bedroom? As we exceed that 2 hours a day, that almost every hour of television time beyond that is putting on about £1 a month. So the children are gaining weight, having problems with obesity. We also have a problem with foreground media and background media. So they're brought to movies that are inappropriate, and that's a problem for a child under the age of 13 to see that. But this also is background media. Their parents may be watching something above what they should be watching, and they're watching in the background, watching over the couch. So we really need to be aware of media and its exposure in children.
So is the exposure to digital media an increased problem in the United States as well?
Increased media use is really a problem in the United States as well. Our problems come with cyberbullying, so that children are now messaging back and forth, speaking as little on the phone as our senior citizens, grandmothers and grandparents, but exchanging hundreds, if not thousands, of messages a day or a week. There's an opportunity with the new programs to put out a message every minute that says, "I hate you, I hate you, I hate you." These children receiving this on their phones. "You should kill yourself, you should kill yourself." This is a crime. This is an FBI related cyberbullying crime. 60% of children, after the lights are out, are sitting on their phones messaging back and forth. I used to read a book under the pillow and sneak a flashlight in. Well, that's what they're doing now with the instant messaging. So in our neurology clinic, we have teenage girls coming in with headaches, and they're neurotic mothers. What happens is a lot of times these children are getting 4 hours of sleep a night. They're worried about that next message and how they're doing it at school, being perceived socially. So it's a problem in our office, the increased media usage.
So, what are some of the problems that children can experience physically by being exposed to too much media?
Well, when children are exposed to too much media, it's a problem. It's a problem socially, but I think there are physical manifestations as well. What we know about obesity is, again, it's exposure to those television commercials, but it's also a change in your metabolic rate when you're sitting on the couch. You're not being active. Getting children outside raises their rate of metabolism, so that just that lack of activity alone. Activity is also an antidepressant, so that as we pump out our own natural hormones, it's very beneficial. Dr. Christakis has shown what he thinks is an advantage is that there's an elevated level of cortisol that occurs with interaction of children with an iPad. But what we know about addiction, we know about substance abuse, but we know about addictive substances, cigarette use, is there's that same thing, that same thrill-seeking cortisol burst that affects brain and brain maturation. We don't know all the long-term effects, but what we know is that children 8 and 10 years old who have had this excessive media exposure have more problems with attention deficit. The whole jumping around, it's a joke that when you give the television controller to a father that he's switching channels, but that's what this media gives to children. It gives they need that instant gratification. They can't wait those seconds for things to download anymore. And as you translate that into social interaction, it's terrible. When I was in college, we did research with Dr. Austin Reason at the University of California, Riverside, looking at social deprivation in monkeys, and showed fewer interneuron connections as a result of simply not being able to interact because there's a plastic wall between you and the rest of the monkey colony. And that's what these things are doing, is they're putting up a wall of social interaction. We screen for autism, and one of the big things that we see is that lack of eye contact. And we can pick up autism in children as young as 6 months of age. We wait until oftentimes 2 or 3, but the sooner we get what's called applied behavioral analysis, where children are getting proprioception, where eye-to-eye contact, human-to-human contact, mirror imaging, monkey see, monkey do, occurs, improves brain development. So the pendulum has swung so far with this instant gratification, it's affecting brain development as far as we're seeing as a society. The other aspects in terms of social, particularly for our adolescents, it's very destructive. We've got the taking of naked pictures and sending them back and forth, and then people posting them online, embarrassing videos being posted online, children being shamed as a result of this. The cyberbullying is a real problem where children are picked on. Even we have one child who committed suicide, and after her death there continue to be put negative comments on her Facebook page. So it's not even protected after her own death. So this media, as pediatricians, as a society, as parents, we need to really pay attention. Certainly what we know is the incidence of violence. As we're watching violent movies, we're killing zombies all the time with our online games. I know in Korea we had a child, 3-month-old, who was only being fed once a day because the parents were so involved in online gaming. And so this failure to interact as a family is what we have to be concerned about. The inability to discipline, the constant exposure to unsafe activities. So as a pediatrician, I want my children to wear helmets. I want them to undergo safety programs. I want them to eat right. I need them to participate in school. And if these things are being interfered with this overusage of digital media, we need to make it through the learning phase and find out what is helpful. It may be that in school that there is a place for it. Right now, I don't know that we know what that place is. It would be cheaper for the schools to replace all the books with iPads, but then there's all the contracting, cloud management, and oftentimes these projects don't really work very well. We have one we're involved with called My Healthy World, and there's a set curriculum, and because of that digital media interaction, we can follow where the children are in their lessons. The parent can and teacher can receive a report of how the children are progressing through these lessons about healthy eating and active living. They're given information about calories, they're given information about exercise. They undertake exercises, including making videos. But the main thing is there's also a human for that. There's not just an app for that, there's a human teacher involved in the teaching of this particular program. So that human-human interaction is really missing. The other thing is our Reach Out and Read program. Parents, instead of just, I understand in Korea, you put an iPhone carrier in front of the baby in their stroller, that is now built into their stroller. So to keep the child entertained, rather than the mother rocking or interacting or looking at that child in the eyes. That human eye-to-eye contact is so important. So we have to be just beyond cautious. I think we need to start pulling back, and our responsibility as pediatricians is to ask those two questions. Is there a television set in that bedroom? Is there internet access in that bedroom? How much screen time is your child spending? And to be even more aware if a child is having problem with violence or being bullied or depressed or having problems with obesity. Opening of the book, proprioceptive behavior will occur. The book has a picture in it, adding into the learning. In addition, you're reading, talking to the child, asking questions about what they're seeing there, rather than having a passive teacher in terms of the digital media. So again, we don't know exactly how these electronic screens are going to work out, but we do need to do enough research. We need funding from national government organizations for media research before we launch these things and claim that they're educational tools. So, how's your mother doing? Is she doing good? Is she a good mom? Does she keep track of you? Uh-huh. Does she know who you are? Keeps you safe? All right. How about babies? Do you like babies? They're pretty cute, huh? Babies everywhere. Yeah, that's good. Okay, well, what do you know about inside your body? Do you know what's inside your body? Ooh. Let's take a look. Okay, what's inside your body? Well, you've just seen the bounty of South Korea. We have these wonderful new pedals that Mike Mostard was able to show with the Ogre Pedals series, bringing new sound. And really, music is how we communicate with each other. You've also seen that South Korea broadcast television is concerned about the epidemic of inability to communicate, that we're just communicating through these smartphone devices. So Ventura, I want you to turn on your Ogre pedals, communicate through music. I want you to move away from your smartphone, start talking to each other, but don't forget to keep that television on and watch Get Moving TV.